Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is very clear that Russian activities on your social media platforms go far beyond the paid political ads that appeared last year. The primary purpose of Russia's active measures is to exploit and aggravate the divisions in American society and to undermine public confidence in our democratic institutions. And those efforts have not stopped. They continue to this very day. As Senator Risch has pointed out, no area of the country is immune. So let me give you an example, and we've passed it out to you, by describing 3 unpaid posts from Facebook pages created by the Russians that referred to the governor of Maine, Paul LePage. There are 2 negative posts related to the governor on one Russian Facebook page called Williams and Calvin that appeared in August of 2016. There's a video of comments made by Maine's governor from that same month. And the post in part says the following. LePage called up white people to kill blacks. After this statement, we can clearly see what kind of people serve in American government. White racist supremacy, that's for sure. The only way to avoid mass killings of black people is to fire LePage and all who have the same racist beliefs from American government. There was a second post on the same website about 10 days later. Let me just read part of that. It is not a secret that America is the country of white supremacy, and people like LePage must be replaced from their positions in the government. America doesn't need racist politicians. Black people are tired of white supremacy. Then this year, in August of 2017, Maine's governor was the subject of a positive post on a different Russian-backed Facebook page called Being Patriotic. In this case, the post defended comments that the government made at the time about Confederate monuments. The post ends with its own incendiary conclusion. It says, when even the governor is not safe from leftist haters, then what can we say about ordinary citizens? Liberals are now acting like terrorists. They try to intimidate everyone who disagrees with them, hope our police will take appropriate measures against these cowards. Now, let me point out something. Our governor was not up for re-election last year. He is term limited. He cannot run for re-election as governor. And yet, these comments were made both last year and just a few months ago. And the posts are just 3 among 80,000 that reveal the Russian playbook of playing both sides off against each other and of sowing discord and division with inflammatory rhetoric. And there were other posts that involved lower-level officials in the state of Maine that we found as well. And the Russians continue to push this kind of divisive rhetoric to this very day. So my question to you is, what are you, as American companies, doing to effectively counter unpaid content posted by the Russians that is clearly designed to specifically polarize and anger the American people? And I would argue that you have a special obligation here, given your reach in American society and the fact that you are patriotic American companies. Mr. Stretch.
Senator, we agree that we have a special responsibility here. We value the trust that users place in our services, and when they show up to connect with friends and family and to discuss issues, they need to know that the discourse they see is authentic. What is so painful about this type of content is that it exploits truly and passionately held views and then inflames them to create more discord and more distrust. To prevent this, we are investing much more heavily in authenticity. We believe that one of the cornerstones of Facebook is that users are known by their real names. And so that creates a level of authenticity in the discourse that users can trust when they come to the platform. This sort of content erodes that trust, and it's contrary to everything we stand for as a company. As Americans, it's particularly painful because it is so exploitative of the openness of our society. And so the investment we are making and the commitment we are making is to ensure that our authenticity policy is more effectively policed and monitored to prevent exactly this sort of behavior.
Mr. Edgib, what is Twitter doing?
We're focusing on a number of things. The one we see the greatest strides in and where we see the greatest effect and protections from our users is on the amplification side. In the use of automated accounts, these bad actors need an audience for their voice, and generally they don't have a followership, so they are trying to use activity on the platform to automate and amplify their voices. So we're looking behind the message and behind the content at the behavior of doing that, and have been successful in doubling our effectiveness of doing that year over year, and looking at the behavior, taking down millions of accounts every single week because they're not actually humans. They're actually.
Well, this just happened in August of this year. This isn't something old.
Right. We continue to try to stay ahead of their activities. We're also looking at things like coordinated human activity, where real people are coming together, like the IRA, and actually putting out divisive content like this. We were able to link those accounts and take action on them as we learn not just what they're saying, but what's behind it. Only we can see it on the Twitter side. We've had great strides on the terrorism front in that regard, and we believe we can apply the same techniques and methodologies to this problem.
Mr. Walker, thank you.
We're also very concerned about this kind of deceptive and divisive content. We remove it immediately from our services, and we have removed these. Going forward, and actually already, we have engaged in a number of things to avoid the problem of fake news, changes to our algorithms, improving the training that our raters get in evaluating quality, labeling fake news where we can find it, working with third parties, et cetera.
Thank you.